Hey, cool dudes, Nathan from Wave. Quick video on our latest very exciting release within Wave, which is scheduled communications. So think of scheduled communications. Some of you might refer it to drip campaigns from more of a marketing bend. Scheduled comms is about setting in place the ability to automate a bunch of EDMs based off a trigger that will happen currently with a member. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So go into Tools, go down to Scheduled Communications. And here it is. So the two selections of this step is you can create templates. So the template builder is built off the same stuff that we use for our email campaign builder. So all of the same tools are here, so we'll feel very consistent with all of the stuff that you've had a lot of fun with. You've got all of your wildcard options. Now, the only part that's different from here is normally you would hit save in the top right hand corner, and then that would take you through to selecting your audience, but you don't have to do that now. So if you hit save, it will just return us back to the list of templates. From here, of course, you can copy and delete them as you need to. As for how the audience is selected, that comes back to the sequences and the triggers utilized. So we go into sequences, and I've already started building one here, so we can edit this one. So I built this sequence thinking about a new member experience. So the trigger here is, so our first four triggers are based around member sign up, member expiry, both before and after, and then also member renewal as well. So with these sequences, just using the after member sign up as the example, so with this, what we were thinking is you would want to build an automated email sequence for a new member, so that after the automated emails that come through Wave around their welcome and then their tax receipt, so on and so forth, then this sequence would kick in. And so this is all about fostering that experience for a new member. So you may want to guide them towards your events pages, any member-only content that you might have, whether it's through member resources or if you've got like a Facebook or a LinkedIn members-only group. This sequence here would be where you could start to foster that through. Plus as well, because you can set it days and days and days and days in advance, this then gives you that ability to effectively almost build like a runway for the first 3 months of that membership, which is we know is so vital for new members. That often determines how sticky that member becomes in the long run. So if you think about it as building that sequence as to how often do you want to be touching on that new member and giving them what information is most important. So rather than trying to stack everything in one really long email, which everyone will have the best intentions of reading through and digesting, you've got that ability to now break that up and set that sequence over a number of steps to get this in front of them. So when you're building through the sequences, so you've got the ability to set the number of days. Then you can obviously determine your trigger. You pick the template that you want to utilize. You've got the email subject line. Then you can dictate the time zone. So this time zone is based on when you send it, not necessarily when the person receives it. And that's only in instances if that member is in a different time zone. So just keep that in mind. So so if it's if you set it for a 6 a.m. send of Brisbane time, that's when it's going to send. So if they happen to be across the border observing daylight savings, then they're going to get it at 7 a.m. And if they're international, then of course they'll get it at those sort of different times. A little bit of a bit of an edge use case there, but just thought I'd give you guys a heads up, just so that you knew that that may happen. Not that I would expect it a lot, but it might happen, of course. Then as you go through these sequences, you've got the ability to make them active or inactive on the fly as well. So let's say you build out a great sequence and then you determine, this part of it is no longer really relevant, so you can just make it inactive rather than feeling the need to delete it entirely for now. Plus as well, if you just leave them all as inactive, then the campaign's effectively just in a draft mode at the time. So and then when you want to add more to the sequence, simply tack it on, figure out what the number of days is and time and what template you want to use and all of that fun stuff and away you go. As easy as that. And then we hit save, and then it returns us back to this page here. So you can copy these sequences. Of course, you can delete the sequences. As they start to become utilized, there'll be a variety of stats that will come through as well. So you can see who's receiving what sequences, open rates, all of that usual stuff, which is super great fun. So I think that's in a nutshell that kind of covers it. Probably the biggest element that will go through a bit of evolution here first is going to be the triggers. So we have these 4 triggers. They're all focused towards that member sign-up and renewals. The next round of triggers, we will be focused around events and ticketing. So the use case for that we keep coming back to is thinking of event, ticketed event in time. You will potentially want to trigger a number of emails that will go out before that event, so that you can remind people of important things to bring to the event. Maybe you want to let them know where parking is, any of that kind of cool stuff. But then post-event, you can then have one or multiple sequences or parts of a sequence that trigger around, say, a post-event survey. So you can get some feedback on the venue and the people and the this and the that. It also gives you the ability to then send out post-event photo and video collateral as well. Help prompt them towards posting on their own social media to grow a bit of that social proof, all of that sort of fun stuff. So that's the next round of triggers that we're focused on. Beyond that, we'll then be looking to all of you to throw us plenty of ideas as to what triggers should exist, and give us lots of use cases and ideas as to how you think they could be used, better used, and provide value back to you guys. So so that'll be the next element that will come through. Beyond that, as those triggers start to come through, the number of days, so the minimum number of days is 1, and that can extend out to really however many days that trigger's affected or engaged, I should say. The number of days, this will evolve as well, where you'll be able to push it down to probably just a few hours as well. So thinking about that next round of triggers around events, you may want a part of the sequence to go out nearly hours before an event, rather than thinking about it in days and that sort of stuff as well. So So anyway, but that'll be a bit of coding that we've already begun working on, and we'll continue to do so. And I think that covers this really cool new part of Wave. So use it, have fun with it. If you note any bugs or anything that doesn't quite work the way you thought it might, or should work the way you thought it might, please do let us know. It is brand new, so we do expect 1 or 2 little things to pop up, and your feedback on that will always be hugely appreciated. So yeah, that's it for now. I've waffled on for far too long. It's good to be able to do a video like this again, and you get my ugly mug. So deal with that as you may wish, and catch you all soon. Take care and farewell.